Hello, welcome back to class. It's great to have you back for another English lesson. I'm Omomi Folari, your English tutor from the Royal Tutors. And in today's class, we are diving into the noun phrases. You're going to learn what they are, you're going to learn how to use them to form your own sentences, and then by the end of this lesson, you'll be able to spot noun phrases easily and even create your own like a pro. If you're ready, let's get started. So we're going to start with the meaning of a noun phrase. The meaning of a noun phrase. Now, what is a noun phrase? A noun phrase equals to a noun plus all the words that tell us more about it. So that's to say that for you to have a noun phrase, you must have a noun, and I believe we all know what a noun is. A noun is a naming word. It's a name of a person, animal, place, or things. So for you to have a noun phrase, you have to have a noun plus all the words that tell us more about a noun. A noun plus all the words that tell us more about the noun. All right, so let's continue. Now, for example, you have the big noisy dog with sharp teeth. The big noisy dog with sharp teeth. So let's look at this sentence. Where is the noun here? It's easy. The noun is the dog. Okay, it's the name of an animal. So let's look at every other information we have that is telling us more about this noun. So you have the big, noisy, then with sharp teeth. All of these words have come together to give us more information about the noun. So adding it to the noun, that's to say that now you have a noun phrase. So the big noisy dog with sharp teeth is a noun phrase. I hope we get that. All right, let's go on. The next one. Now we have to know why noun phrases are important. They are not just a combination of words. There's a reason we have noun phrases. So let's look at them now. The first reason is to make sentences more interesting. To make your sentence more interesting. It gives more life to the sentence. It makes it even more interesting. And then another reason is to add details and description. To add details and description. So that's to say that with a noun phrase, you can describe better. You can describe a noun better. Like we had earlier, it's easy to say the dog. But in order to give it more description, we said the big dog with a sharp teeth. Now that describes the exact dog you're talking about. So you can use a noun phrase to add details and description. And another reason is to help the reader imagine better. Let's look at it. The big dog with a sharp teeth. Your imagination is open. You can think of a dog with a sharp teeth. And not only does it have a sharp teeth, it is also a big dog. So that is one of the importance or one of the importances of a noun phrase. Okay, let's go on. Now we're going to look at examples of noun phrases for you to be more familiar with what it looks like. The first example we have here, the tall boy. The tall boy. Now, first things first, let's identify the noun in this sentence. What do you think the noun is in the tall boy? Let's go. Good. The noun is the boy. Boy is the noun. Then let's look at what the additional information is. Remember we said noun phrase is noun plus every other information. So let's see what the every other information is in this sentence. The more information we have here is the tall. So not only is he a boy, he is a tall boy. So the tall boy is a noun phrase. All right, let's look at another example. My favorite storybook on the shelf. My favorite storybook on the shelf. I could have said my favorite storybook, or I could have said my storybook. But it doesn't add details to the storybook. If I just say my storybook, neither does it add details or description to the noun storybook. But when I say my favorite storybook on the shelf, not only is it my storybook, it is my favorite storybook. Not only is it my favorite storybook, it is my favorite storybook on the shelf. Okay, that's good. Now let's look at the noun. The storybook is the noun, and then let's look at the other information we have. My favorite and on the shelf. That's to say, my favorite on the shelf is the additional information that makes this a noun phrase. Okay, having storybook alone is not enough to call it a noun phrase, but having other information added to it, and yes, it is now a noun phrase. So the third example, those colorful balloons in the sky. Those colorful balloons in the sky. Let's see what the noun is. I think you can guess it correctly now. If you had balloon in mind, yes, you're right. So the noun is balloons, and then for the more information, those colorful in the sky. And this makes those colorful balloons in the sky a noun phrase. All right, let's go on. Now, for every noun phrase, there are parts of a noun phrase. So that's to say that when you see a noun phrase, how do you identify that, okay, this thing I'm looking at is a noun phrase? There are some parts that makes it easier, or there are some things that makes it easier for you to identify a noun phrase. So for this part, we're going to be looking at the parts of a noun phrase and their definitions. So the first part of a noun phrase that we have is the head noun. The head noun, that's just to say the noun. So before you can have a noun phrase, you must have a noun in it. Okay, now let's look at the definition of a head noun. Now, the head noun is the main word in the noun phrase that tells us what or who the phrase is about. This is the main word, and it has to be a noun because it is a noun phrase. So it's the main word in the noun phrase. The tall boy, you remember the example, the tall boy. The main word is boy. Okay, so we can say that boy is also the head noun. So that is exactly what it means. Now let's look at an example. I'm sure we have an example. Okay. The big dog. The big dog. Now this is a noun phrase, but you still have to pick out the head noun here. All right. So what is the head noun for this? We have, drum rolls please, dog. So dog is the head noun. So dog, he's the head noun. It's the main word in the noun phrase that tells us what or who the phrase is about. Good. Now let's go on to the next part of a noun phrase. Number 2, we have determiner. Determiner. Now let's see what the meaning of a determiner is. Determiners are words that come before the noun to tell us which one, how many, or whose. So determiner are those words that come before, emphasis on before. They come before the noun and they tell us which one, how many, or whose. That means, which one are you talking about? How many are you talking about? Whose are you talking about? All right, or we say, who is the owner of this thing you're talking about? That's what whose means. All right, so now let's go on to the examples we have. Good. Now for our determiners, we have our examples. The first one is the article. We're familiar with the boy, the man, the fat boy, the fat man. So for articles, we have a and the. You can say a cup. All right, you can say an elephant. Okay, so those are the articles we have. So that means when you have a noun plus an article, we can call it a noun phrase. Demonstratives, you have this, that, these, and those. This bag is mine. This bag, a noun phrase. That book is yours. That book, a noun phrase. And then these children are disturbing me. Okay, so these children, also a noun phrase. And why is that? Because we have a determiner before the noun. Okay, we are looking for what makes up a noun phrase. All right, now the next one is possessives. Possessives. My, your, their. In the previous class on pronouns, we looked at possessive pronouns. So we have my, your, their. By the way, if you've not checked out the video on pronouns, then you should do that. So we have my, your, and their. My book. my pen. You have my, which is a determiner, also a possessive, and then you have book, which is a noun. You join them together, we have a noun phrase. Okay? Your, their father, their father. So when you have their, it's a determiner, which is also possessive, all right? And then you have father, which is a noun. So that makes their father a noun phrase, all right? And then for the last one under the determiner, we have quantifiers. Quantifiers, remember we said the determiner tells us how many. It tells us how many. So for quantifier, you have some. That's talking about the number, talking about how many. All right? Some men are here to see you. Some men. That is the noun phrase. And then you have many, and then you have few. Okay? Now moving on, we're going to look at the third part of a noun phrase. Adjectives. We have adjectives as a part of a noun phrase. Now you're going to be confused. Why do I have an adjective in a noun phrase? Hold on, you're going to get it. So let's check the meaning. Now, adjectives, like you know, are words that describe a noun. They give us more information about a noun. They tell us more about the noun. They make us understand better about a noun. So that's what adjectives does. All right? Now let's look at adjective as a part of a noun phrase. Yes, they give more information about a noun. Now we have examples. The big man. The big man. All right? So that's to say that what word is giving us more information about the noun, which is the man. Something is telling me more about the man. We have a lot of men. All right? So which one am I talking about? I'm saying the big man. So here the adjective is big, and then it is giving me more information about the noun man. All right? Now the next one, a fresh fruit on the table. A fresh fruit on the table. Now we have lots of fruits. All right? Now, which one are you talking about? I can give you more information by saying, oh, the fresh fruits on the table. So that makes fresh the adjective. All right? Next one. Now, another thing about adjectives that you need to know as part of a noun phrase is that they are called modifiers. They are called modifiers. So you can call them adjectives, you can call them modifiers, and can be categorized into two. They can be categorized into two. So let's look at the categories of the adjectives or the modifiers that we have. The first one is the pre-modifiers, and then the second one is the post-modifiers. All right, now let's look at what this means. For the pre-modifier, these are words before the noun. You know, I already said it, that adjectives, also known as modifiers, they describe, they give us more information about the noun. Now for pre-modifier, they also describe. They are words that describe a noun, that give us more information about the noun. But they usually come before a noun. Meaning in position, before you see the noun, you will see the pre-modifier. So any word that comes before the noun and is describing the noun, you can call that pre-modifier. Is that okay? So there are words before the noun that describe it or give more detail. All right? And then for examples, we have the shiny new car. The shiny new car. Now we have to break this down. Already we have the, which is a determiner, an article. Now we have shiny new. What function is shiny new performing in this sentence? It is describing the noun. It is telling us more about the noun. And what is the noun here? It's the car. All right? So that's to say that shiny new, describing the car, comes before the car, which is a noun. We can call shiny new the pre-modifiers. All right? Shiny and new are the pre-modifiers describing the car. So that is that for pre-modifiers. We're moving on to the post-modifiers. Now for post-modifiers. While pre-modifiers come before the noun, post modifiers come after the noun. They give us more information, they describe the noun, but they are usually after the noun. Let's look at an example. The car in the garage. The car in the garage. Which car are you talking about? Is it the car outside the house? Is it the car in front of the park? Is it the car at the mall? No, it's the car in the garage. So, in the garage can be seen or can be called the post modifier because it gives more information about the noun, which is a car. Okay, now let's move on. Yes, it's the post modifier giving more detail about the car. Now that brings us to the end of all the parts of a noun phrase, the basic parts of the noun phrase. We have the determiner, we have the head noun, and then we have the adjectives divided into two, pre-modifier and post-modifier. Now we've been talking about noun phrases since. Now let's look at examples of noun phrases and how we can break them down into their parts. We have a phrase here, a noun phrase, the small brown dog in the park. The small brown dog in the park. The first part of a noun phrase is the head noun. Let's see. Okay, we have the determiner, the. Determiner, the. Okay. We have the adjectives, okay. The pre-modifiers, small and brown. So we are trying to look at the parts of a noun phrase now in this sentence. So we've already identified the determiner, which is the. We are identifying the pre-modifiers, which are small and brown. And then moving on, we have the post-modifiers in the park. In the park. And then we have the noun or the head noun, which is the dog. Now moving on to the next example. My shiny red car with racing stripes. My shiny red car with racing stripes. I'm sure that you can try to break this down into the parts of a noun phrase, but let's do it together. For the determiner, we have my. We have my. It's supposed to be my. We have my, which is a possessive, all right? And then for the adjectives, for pre-modifiers, we have shiny red. And then for post-modifiers, we have with racing stripes. With racing stripes. And then for the head noun, what do you think it is? It's a car. Yes, it's a car. Now to the next one, to the next example. Many expensive shoes in the box. Many expensive shoes in the box. The determiner is many. And this is a quantifier telling us the number. There are many expensive shoes in the box. All right, and then we move on to the adjectives. For pre-modifier, we have expensive. We have expensive, it's supposed to be expensive. And then for the post modifiers, we have in the box. In the box. Now down to the head noun, we have shoes. Shoes. All right. Now we're moving to the summary of everything we've been saying today, which are, first, we described or we defined a noun phrase, and we said a noun phrase consists of a noun plus all the words that tell us more about the noun. And then we also said that noun phrases are mainly used to describe a noun. All right. And then we also mentioned the major parts of a noun phrase, which are the head noun, the determiner, and then the adjectives, which are divided into your pre-modifier and the post-modifier. Now, this brings us to the end of the class today. And as usual, I have an exercise for you to work with to show that you've really learned about noun phrases today. So for this exercise, you have to break down each noun phrase into their various parts. All right, we have this example: the young girl with the red scarf smiled. Number 2, I ate a big slice of chocolate cake. You have to pick out the noun phrases and then you break them down into the different parts that we have. A new bicycle with shiny wheels is outside. You pick out the noun phrase and then you go ahead to break it down into the different parts of a noun phrase. And then the last one, we saw a bright star in the sky. All right. And that is all I have for you today. In the next class, we're going to go on to expanded noun phrases and even more exercises on the noun phrases. I hope you had fun in today's class. I will see you in the next class. Bye.